Some of the challenges I had, I didn't even know they were challenges until I had a conversation with somebody. So I feel like if you build your network and then you talk about your business enough, you will like learn things like crazy. Like my biggest mistake, I feel like in the beginning was pricing. And it's just because I didn't know what I was doing enough. Like I thought I had wheelhouse, like it was fine. Like we were getting bookings. I was super excited, but we were booked out like 6 to 8 months in advance. And then I found out, oh, it's probably because you're priced way too low. So then my mind gets blown and like stretched. And I talked to somebody else who taught me a couple of tactics and we like doubled our prices.
Having a blast, gonna get it on the Bruce Lee podcast. Bruce Lee like Bruce Lee, cause it's so hard and the T is loose leaf. Making up those rhymes, don't write it, just do it loosely. If you want my respect, you'll better put direct. Here are the words in the podcast, that's what comes next.
Hi, and welcome back to the Boost Lee podcast, the podcast that gives you the tools, the tactics, the training, and most importantly, the confidence so you can go out there and get yourselves direct bookings. We have a mini series on this podcast where we dive behind a host. We find out what they're doing in their business, whether it's the tactics, whether or not it's the marketing, whether or not it's something which they're doing to get great reviews. And they share that with you on this podcast so you can take those tips and you can put it into your business. And we're going to be diving in with Tanya. Tanya is full of energy. She's an amazing host. She's an author, best-selling author with Hospitable Hosts. She's a coach. And her property is from Yeah, You're Here Properties. Did I say that right, Tanya? Is that correct?
Yeah, You're Here Properties is our little
Amazing.
tagline.
Amazing. I love the name. I love the name. First question for you is, can you just give yourself the introduction?
Yeah, so my name is Tanya Rooney. I've got 5 properties in the Minneapolis and St. Paul, Minnesota market. And I am really good at a couple of things, I feel like, and like the reason I know I'm good is because of our ratings, like I guess our 5-star ratings. So I'm going to talk a little bit about those things and then a couple of systems that have made things really, really awesome in our business. Like it doesn't have to be this big hectic business. It can be something that some parts are on autopilot. So it gives you time to dig in when you have the crazy stuff that happens. So yeah.
In terms of your property journey, take me back. How did you get into hospitality? What gave you the hospitality bug?
Yeah, so I was flipping houses. Like I have a background in corporate real estate. I did that for like 10 years and then I wanted to get out of it because I was just sick of clients, honestly. Corporate clients are kind of high test. There's a lot of stuff going on. So one day, like I got into flipping because of a friend. They told me
Mhm.
I should start flipping houses. So I bought a house a couple of months later and then we flipped, I think we've probably flipped and wholesaled like about 20 houses in the last like 4 or 5 years. And then one of our flips just kind of wasn't selling. It was in a spot that I don't know. It was a really weird summer. Honestly, there was a lot going on in Minneapolis and St. Paul because of George Floyd and like just a lot of things like that really affected the market. So we opted to keep one of ours when one of my friends said, "Why aren't you looking at Airbnb, Tanya?" I was like, "Because I have no idea what short-term rentals look like. I don't know, what to do with that." So he had a conversation with me. He's like, "If you hit at least half of this number, he's like, you'll probably be really happy. But he's like, you're pretty good at things. Like you put in the effort, so you might be able to, beat this number." And we kind of haven't looked back since. So it was just by an accident, actually. And it's fit really, really well. Like I love hospitality. Like I really love customer service. And this just kind of goes really well with my personality. So it works for me.
Why do people come and stay in the homes? What is the avatar of the kind of guests that you tend to host?
Yeah, so we have like my preferred guests are like large girls weekends. Like honestly,
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
truly why. So like one of the last house that we bought is a 6 bedroom, 4 bath. And it's
Mhm.
specifically because I was sick of not being able to find a big enough house for all of my friends to come over and hang out for a weekend or to do like a real estate retreat. So we get a lot of large families and like groups just coming to town for that or coming into town for concerts and things. And then we have one of our other houses is very, very close to a college. So we get a ton of parents. Like that one's really, really cool. So we kind of have 2 avatars. I'd say groups of humans that are adults. Like I prefer adults.
Mhm.
Families can totally stay, but I know that once we get more than 6 kids in our houses, things go a little crazy. So yeah.
you've flipped 20 houses, which is amazing. Just to do that. And then obviously a couple of years ago, you've kind of stumbled into the short-term rental, fell in love with hospitality and grown the portfolio since then. Do you want to take it all the homes are purchased at the moment? Is there any kind of management, or are they purchased as opposed to all the other kind of models out there?
Yeah, we don't do any arbitrage. We don't do any co-hosting or managing of other people's things. We just do ours. And it's nice because I feel like I'm in control of the levers. And so if I don't have bookings, it's my own fault. I don't have to blame anybody, and I don't want to blame anybody. So yeah, all of them are owned, and they're all really different sizes. We have a 1 bedroom, a 2 bedroom, a 3 bedroom, a 5 bedroom, and a 6 bedroom. But our
Wow.
6, 5, and 3 are like our biggest. Like that's where we make the most money.
What would you say has been some of the biggest successes along the journey so far?
My favorite of any journey I've been through is like the network and the tribe that I build around it. So the community. So that's probably one of the most successful things because it actually adds to my own life.
Mhm.
And then I mean, like I had already quit my corporate job. So at that point, like I mean it makes us good money. So I don't have to like it's crazy. Like I get up at a late time every morning. I go to bed really late. Like I get to like style my own life.
Mhm.
And granted, I could be out for dinner with friends, at 7 o'clock on a Friday night, and I might have to be on my phone because of something that comes up. Like it's really rare that stuff like that happens, but it's true. But I personally am okay with the trade-off. So I
Mhm.
have a pretty cool lifestyle because of short-term rentals, and that's it's a pretty big win. Like it's
Yeah.
pretty amazing.
When it comes down to some of the challenges that you've faced, we can go not just the hospitality, but even, the growth of the flipping of the 20 houses and that sort of thing. What have been some of the challenges along the way, and how have you overcome them?
Um, there are so many challenges, I feel like, because this is just like you want to own your own business, whether you're calling it a side hustle or not, it is a business. And there is a lot of things that you need to learn.
Mhm.
And you can't stick your head in the mud anymore. Like in a corporate job, you can just be like, well, it's not my problem. And it literally isn't your problem. Well, you can't like ignorance isn't actually an answer in your business. You're like you can just put stuff on the back burner, but you have to learn the heck out of things. So I feel
Mhm.
like there's challenges all the time of the things that we need to learn, but I think just being willing to learn them, like some of the challenges I had, I didn't even know they were challenges until I had a conversation with somebody. So I feel like if you build your network and then you talk about your business enough, you will like learn things like crazy. Like my biggest mistake, I feel like in the beginning was pricing. And it's just because I didn't know what I was doing enough. Like I thought I had Wheelhouse, like it was fine. Like we were getting bookings. I was super excited, but we were booked out like 6 to 8 months in advance. And then I found out, oh, it's probably because you're priced way too low. So then my mind gets blown and like stretched. And I talked to somebody else who taught me a couple of tactics, and we like doubled our prices. Like, and we're still doing just fine. We have lower occupancies, like over 12 months, but
Yeah.
I personally don't care about low occupancy. I just want, I want to make sure I make a certain amount of money. So because of her tactics, like I was making more money with less effort, basically because I figured out how to price and how to actually play with the numbers and things like that. So and this all comes back to my community. Like I'm such a tribe builder. Like I find it to be the most important thing because those kinds of conversations, if you're not having them, then
Mhm.
you're never gonna experience a difference. I actually talked to a host yesterday who got my phone number from a friend, and he asked me like a couple of questions, and I heard him talk and I was like, wait a minute, you're not using a pricing tool. So he was talking about how his prices in the winter are the same as summer. And the folks that don't know about Minnesota is very cold in the winter. Like we're not talking about this year. In normal circumstances, it could be like negative 10 degrees Fahrenheit here, like all of January or even colder. And in the summer times it's like 90s and hundreds and it's gorgeous. We do not charge the same amount of money for those 2 days because they're not like, I mean, shoulder season, off season, and on season are very different. And this guy, if he wouldn't have made the random offhanded comment he made, I wouldn't have told him like, oh, you need a pricing tool. Like you shouldn't be charging the same thing for this month and this month. And it's because he doesn't use smart pricing or any of that. So he's just always priced at, let's just say $150 a night. When in the summer he should be getting $350 a night. And on the winter time, he should be getting 130. So it's things like that. It's like when you build your community and you like start listening, like you need to kind of find friends and be involved. You just start listening and you pick up on these things, and then you make changes in your business and you make more money, or you don't have to work as hard, or you get a really good referral. Like, oh, I find that to be like the most important part of our businesses. Like, how do we overcome those challenges? Like, I use other people's information. That's like, why wouldn't just hack it away?
Is there a motto or mantra which has helped you along your journey, or one that really resonates with you?
Yes, I read a lot of books, like a really lot every single day. And my thing is, if it's not a hell yeah, it's a no. And it's by Derek Sivers. And I think that guy is like, I think he's so cool. I would love to meet him someday, but I don't know that he's actually pretty introverted. So maybe it wouldn't be as fun, but I love reading what he writes. And I feel like that's a super important thing, is like, if it doesn't resonate, sorry, if it does not resonate, then don't do that thing. Like for real, if you're already dreading something and you haven't even started, it's probably not the right spot for you to be. And it's okay to go and learn something new and find something that does make you really excited, because man, we are only on this planet for like a certain amount of years. And if you're doing things that suck, then stop doing them, because you're in charge of what you do.
I love that. What a great way to, what great sentiment. And this has been really fun. I've really enjoyed the energy from it. And I know everybody listening to this is going to want to come and find out more from Instagram and some of those tips. I know there's so much more we could dive into. Thank you for listening to this on the Boostly podcast. If there's somebody who will get value from this, please let them know about this podcast, share it with them. And if you want to continue the journey into direct bookings, talking about hospitality, come and do so in the hospitality community on Facebook. It's a free community that you can come and join, and we'd love to have you in there. So thank you very much, Tanya, for joining us, and yeah, wish you all the best for the future.
Having a blast, gonna get it on the Boostly podcast. Boostly like Bruce Lee, cause it's so hard and the T is loose leaf. Making up those rhymes, don't write it, just do it loosely.